Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, and when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Or so they say. But what happened to Borden after all those whacks? The alleged whacks occurred on August 4, 1892, when Andrew Borden and his wife Abby, Lizzie's stepmother, were found dead in their home in Fall River, Massachusetts. The most likely suspect in the grisly murder was Lizzie, the younger of Andrew's 2 living daughters.
Did you love your father?
He was known to be difficult.
In her 30s, unmarried and still living with her father and his new wife, she claimed to have been at home when the murders occurred, but had neither seen nor heard anything of the crime. However, Lizzie had been seen attempting to buy poison before the murders for cleaning, and afterwards she admitted to burning a stained dress. Needless to say, she was soon arrested. The 2-week trial, held nearly a year after the crime, became a national sensation. People were horrified by the crime and the victims. Andrew was a wealthy yet modest leader of the community. Lizzie, as a Sunday school teacher and a woman, was seen as an unlikely murder suspect by many, and her arrest sparked an uproar. Lizzie never gave testimony after the inquest. Incriminating evidence against her was deemed inadmissible, and she was a sympathetic figure in the courtroom. Though Lizzie's guilt seems certain in hindsight, the jury deliberated for just 90 minutes before acquitting her. Borden and her sister came into $350,000 after their father's death, an amount that would be nearly $11.8 million in 2024. Money was the obvious motive for the crime. Lizzie and her sister Emma were upset over Borden family funds that were spent on their stepmother's family and went to their father to demand some property of their own. But Andrew Borden was reportedly frugal to a fault.
Why does your family keep the house so dark?
Father doesn't believe in light. He finds it extravagant.
For example, he maintained a small house when most of Fall River's elite lived in a more upscale neighborhood known as the Hill. Lizzie, who shared common prejudices of the time against the Irish immigrants moving into town, wanted to live among those she considered to be her class. The Hill community rallied behind Lizzie in the lead-up to her trial, and almost immediately after she was found not guilty, she and her sister relocated. Their new home was 306 French Street, a 3-story Queen Anne-style mansion Lizzie dubbed Maplecroft. Maplecroft boasted several modern conveniences, including a gas pump and turnstile in the garage. Jerry Pacheco, the former operations manager at the house, told the Journal that he suspects it became a speakeasy during Prohibition, though he assumes that any basement watering hole run by Lizzie was a free service to friends rather than a business. Though Fall River's elite vehemently protested the charges against Lizzie Borden and spoke out in her defense, the stain of the scandal left on her by the trial failed to endear her to her class following her acquittal. Members of the Central Congregational Church, where Lizzie had been an active member, were unwelcoming. Local children made her house a favorite target for pranks like throwing eggs and gravel, and the famous nursery rhyme emerged within her lifetime, though it's anyone's guess whether she heard it. Another person who turned against Lizzie was her sister. Emma Borden came to feel something sinister was afoot at Maplecroft, and she and Lizzie mysteriously severed ties in 1905, with Emma moving out.
Did you kill Father?
No, Emma. I did not.
They never reconciled after Emma left. Once her sister was gone, Lizzie changed her name to Lizbeth, which could hardly constitute an alias. Under that name, she enjoyed high living and frequent travel. Attending the theater was one of her favorite pastimes. Lizzie never spoke publicly about the murders, but for whatever reason, she never tried to embark on a new life somewhere where there wasn't a schoolyard rhyme immortalizing her as the girl who had murdered her parents with an axe.
It's been compared to the O.J. Simpson trial because 2 murders, overkill with a sharp object, and the police bungled it.
In 1927, Lizzie died at Maplecroft. She was 66 years old. Her sister Emma followed her in death 9 days later. Both women were buried next to their father and stepmother at Oak Grove Cemetery in Massachusetts.